What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View. Manchester United are through to the FA Cup final after defeating Coventry City on penalties. 3-3. Oh, thrill. I can't even talk, honestly. 5 hours of that rubbish. But yes, Manchester United are through to the FA Cup final after defeating Coventry on penalties. 4-2, 3-3, 3-3, easy for me to say, in regulation time, in extra time. I'm just honestly, I've got no more words left after that game. I really don't. I normally do a bit of an opening monologue and soliloquy on the full-time view, but I've got nothing. Ian Beale sentence. I have nothing left to say. I have nothing left apart from everyone needs to go. Boxing Day DFSL. Everyone must go. It's shutting down. All of it. It is bad. It is bad. We got away with it. We're in the final. I'm happy we're in the final. I hope by some miracle, maybe Manchester United win. But it would be the miracle of all miracles because Manchester City, even the tired Pep Guardiola Manchester City would be laughing at that, laughing at Manchester United. It's just, just crazy. Anyway, guys, let's get to some calls. We've got so many people to get to. A reminder again, this is the full-time view where members can call in. They can have their say. If you do wish to become a member, you can do so. Links in the video description. It's also the pinned comment in the live chat as well. Let's go to our first call. Let's go to Show. Talk to me. Are you like me? Do you have any more words left? What are your thoughts on what we witnessed today?
You always think you can't reach new lows with this club, and we reached a new one today. Yeah, I mean, it's like how you summarize at the end of the game. It doesn't feel like a win. I think the mood's very low at the moment. But you know what? Let's shout out Coventry as well, because I don't think we've done that enough. Like for them to keep going at 3-0, they could have easily thrown in the towel and think like, you know what? Let's just put on some players to give them the Wembley experience and whatever. But they had the heart to fight back. And they should have won the game. You know, I mean, looking at the offside again, I'll be honest, like, from what they say about the thicker lines and stuff, seems pretty BS to me because that offside was very dodgy. But, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore. It's like, I've said to you, Owen, week after week, that this kind of football will get you this kind of results, regardless of the opposition. And that's what's happened this season. We've seen it from the beginning of the season, like I said, from day one against Wolves. This performance is the same as that performance. No difference. Regardless of the opponent, this is how we play. And these are the kind of results we've gotten all season. And even the wins, this is the scary thing. Every single defeat we've had this season, in my opinion, in all comps, all 17 of them have been deserved. The scary thing is, we've had a lot of wins and draws that we haven't deserved. So we could have even more defeats. We should have even more defeats than we already have. Today should have been a defeat. There's many other games this season I can look back on. Villa away, Brentford at home, Brentford away. You know, however many more games that we should have lost. And this is my point I've been making to you, also, like especially recently, where I've been concentrating on the fact of the games against the poor teams, the games that we shouldn't be going life and death in. Today is a classic example. You know,
they look like a Premier League team after they scored one goal. And you mentioned about credit them for not giving up, but like, and this is going to sound a bit strange, but it's almost alarming that they don't, because if it was Man City and it was 3-0, they would have. You know what I mean? Because they would go, well, there's no way coming back. But there's always a way back against Manchester United, and that's the worry. So they know that. They know that we get one, we can get 3, and they did. They got 4. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's. And you know what? I give them credit, but at the same time, I feel like Mark Robbins didn't really do anything that special. I think he made changes at halftime, and I think he just, from what it looked like, he just said to the players, because they were very passive for the first hour. I thought we were comfortable for the first hour. They didn't lay a glove on us, and I think all he did was just say, guys, put it on them. That's it. And as soon as they put it on us, that's it. And it's just turned into it just turned to one of the games that we've seen for the previous 44 games that we've played, where it's just basketball football against Coventry, who are not even in the playoffs in the Championship. And again, Ten Hag is like, again, there's going to be this thing of how can you blame the manager when you see this every week, regardless of the opposition. So it's like, oh, we were 3-0 up. How can you blame it on the manager? But it's like, well, How many times have we said that we were 3-0 up? Or even in games where we weren't 3-0 up, how many times have we seen this performance? We've seen this performance for 8 months, regardless of the opposition. I mean, this is the thing. If you want to compare to last season, right? Last season, we had a clear baseline. We lost one game home and away against the bottom half. And that was right towards the end of the season. We beat every single team in the top half at home, barring Brighton. But we lost to them all away from home. So there's a clear baseline there. We're good against the bottom half, home or away. We're good at home against any team, because that was the case last season. Any team we could beat at home last season. But away from home, that's the missing key here. That's the missing key. This season, there's no baseline, Owen. It doesn't. There's nothing. There's nothing you can say. You know what? We do this so I can see the process is moving along. We're moving forward. Or even if you want to say we've had this many injuries, so we kind of have to move a little bit backwards. This isn't a small decline from last season. This is a massive decline. A massive decline.
It's a drop off, isn't it? It's just it's off the edge of a cliff.
It's a complete drop off into hell. There's no bar. Normally you say the bar's very low at United. We don't have a bar. After today, there's no bar. There isn't. You can't say there was. I mean, look at the embarrassment. I mean, I know Højlund's young, but still, like, read the room, celebrating like that after the winning penalty. And then I don't know if you've seen Anthony cupping his ears to the Coventry fans after winning the shootout. You didn't even take one of the pens. What you do? You didn't even take one of the pens. You're cupping your ears to the Coventry fans.
And like, this is the mentality from him as well. Yeah. Taking a shot. It's like
this is the mentality of the club. And then I look at Ten Hag subs. He waits until it goes to 3-3, and then he goes, "Oh, I see Rashford. You've done enough damage. Now I'll take you off. Now it's 3-3. Now I'll take you off." The guy was walking around the whole game, and then faked an injury because I don't believe he was injured. He just bottled it because he doesn't give a shit about this football club. He doesn't. Like, I'm sorry, Rashford's a lost cause. We should be getting rid of this guy. Should not be in a Man United shirt next season. I don't care. Like, today, he absolutely strolled about that pitch, and Ten Hag is on him for not taking him off.
And that was going to be my point I was going to mention to you, because where does it get to that point when I think everyone would unanimously agree Marcus Rashford was shocking today, but then once it gets onto the manager, it's when it's like, well, why don't you take him off then? You know, if you've got eyes like everyone else, we can all see Rashford's playing badly and he's been playing poorly for a long time. And this isn't to, give Rashford the benefit of the doubt, because it's not. It's, if anything, it's more of an indictment on him that he's playing so badly constantly. But when's enough's enough? When's the manager going to take him out of the game? And he's not. Like, that's when it gets onto everyone. Like, everyone's then not doing what they're meant to be doing. It is madness.
And you saw Ahmad do like more when he came on than Rashford did in the whole game. And I'm not even saying Ahmad was sensational today. No, but he asks for the ball. He shows up. You can see Ahmad in the game. You know what I mean? And you even saw Garnacho's face when he was being taken off. You just thought, what? Even he thought, what? You're taking me off? Like, and in his head he's probably thinking, me over Rashford. He's not going to say that out loud, but he's probably thinking that. And then Kobe off for Eriksen. I mean, after that change, basically, I mean, we have no midfield even with Kobe because he's the only one left in there at times. And then Kobe took Kobe off for Eriksen. After that, Coventry free-for-all. You just saw it, chance after chance after chance. But yeah, I don't know. It's like you said, Owen, earlier, like, if there's no other decision, there's no other outcome for me at this point other than Ten Hag being, sacked in the summer. There's just no other what are we trusting at this point?
Yeah, like I said, and I know that gets people really upset and angry, and I don't get why, because I don't see how you can watch that today and feel like that's acceptable. And it's not. And again, it must be stressed. That's not to say like, oh, I mean you want to keep all the players. No, everyone clearly needs to go because it's not working. Nothing is working. The players are rubbish, and unfortunately, fact of life. If you're in a role and you're not performing to the level you should be, and things keep happening under your watch, you're going to face the consequences of it. Like, it's just, that's how it works. That's how football works. And I saw you also saying this in the comments too. So I want to get your opinion on it whilst you're on before we wrap it up. But what's your thoughts on the argument that, that's not, that we got to break the cycle? Are we in the same cycle or is it a different cycle?
Oh, and this is the thing I've heard. These are the cliches I've heard all season. Trust the process, break the cycle. We have the new structure. Bullshit cliches that have no foundation. If you're gonna break the cycle for something, you gotta break it for a reason, not for the sake of just breaking it. For you can't. I feel like because we've sacked many managers, and all of them were deservedly sacked, by the way. Yes, the structure failed them, but they also failed. Crazy thing, Owen, two things can happen at the same time. A lot of people can't understand that. But with this manager, I feel like there's a lot of people who are basically just, this manager's the one. And you go, why? And you go, Eric Ten Hag. They just say his name in some glorious fashion. It's like, what does that mean? What's that? Well, back it up with the football that you're seeing on the pitch. Oh, but next season he'll fix it. Okay, based on what? Oh, because he did it at Ajax 3 years ago. What about what he's done at Man United? Oh, but he's had injuries. But we can't beat Coventry. Oh, what's part of the process? So it's just like, again, it's just a cliche backed up by another cliche, backed up by another cliche. And it's just, yeah, I've got no time for break the cycle. I'll be honest, Owen.
Break the cycle, though, Show. Big up, Show. Appreciate you calling. As always, a couple of super chats. We've got 1,200 people watching, which is great for the full-time view. If you haven't already, click the like button. Let's see if we can get to 500 likes. We're already at 100, so click those like buttons. Danny DeVito says, hi, Owen. Was United playing today? Must have missed that. I assume it was Route 1 victory. Anyway, I decided to get a honeycomb magnum. Yum. Hey. Nothing wrong with honeycomb. Matt T, with a bit of constructive criticism, not on the game, on my appearance, says, Owen, you need a refund. Whoever did your eyebrows. I'll use your money to make sure they get done, mate. Yeah. I wonder what Matt T looks like. He's probably Brad Pitt, clearly. K Flow says, I don't want to hear names of certain players ever again. Ericsson comes on and drops that. Awful. And he's one to fume for not starting. Anthony was garbage too. Everyone was rubbish today. Everyone. Let's go to another call. Let's go to Lil Yo-Yo. Lil Yo-Yo, talk to me. You said your head's hot. Explain.
Owen, you may have seen comments here and there about me being on the fence, yeah?
I did see that, yes.
Well, today, Owen, I am officially off the fence. Get these players out, get the manager out, word to Flex, rip it up. I'm done. It's unacceptable.
What do you say to KG's comment of, well, if he wins the FA Cup, is that enough to keep his job?
Well, didn't the same thing happen with Louis van Gaal? He won the FA Cup and got sacked.
Fifth. Yeah, and he finished fifth as well.
This football all season has not been sustainable at all. We've been opened up, we've been carved open by Coventry when they decided to apply a bit of pressure on us. How embarrassing was that today? That was hugely embarrassing. I felt ashamed. I was at the edge against Newport, but we managed to come back. But during the season, I thought, you know what, the injuries, there's been a takeover process going on. I thought, you know what, there's been a lot of problems within the club. I thought, okay, I'm right in the middle. Let me see how things go till the end of the season. But today, that takes the piss. Legit. I am Ten Hag out. He needs to go. His stubbornness is going to get himself sacked anyways.
And also, just to clarify, because people get angry, that's not you saying the players. You're saying the players
throw these players in the bin. They are even worse than the manager. But this manager has not helped himself either. So both.
And well, let's talk about a player then. Let's talk about Rashford. Where do you stand on him at the moment as well?
He's a disgrace of a Manchester United player. I don't want to see him at this club next season. He's an embarrassment to this club. He should be ashamed that he wears the badge and even looks at the badge. I'm embarrassed that he's our player. He's a shambles to me. What he was doing today was unacceptable. He was slowing the play down, giving really simple passes, not really taking on his man. We needed him today, and he didn't deliver at all. And then he ended up like limping off as well. And we've seen more from Ahmad today. I couldn't believe it.
Well, also as well, this is going to be my follow-up question to this, because I'm going to ask you the questions that I know will get asked, because when I
go ahead, please do.
These are the things that get put back to me, so I want to make sure they're represented here. So
yes,
you're saying rip it up. You're saying get rid of the manager. You're saying get rid of the players.
Yes.
what if though the problem is with that, Lilio, is that some of the players are going to be here next season, and that's not fair. And if some of the players are going to be here, then Erik ten Hag should be able to be here as well. What would your response be to that?
Well, if Ineos are so competent, then they will do the right thing and get rid of the vast majority of these players.
But
It's
what
as
if they
simple as
can't?
that.
What if they can't?
Well, Ineos are not really scared to make the right decisions. Apparently, Omar Barada says we give players 1 or 2 seasons and then they go. So if they have the history of these players, a lot of them will be gone. A big chunk of these players have very limited or low number of years on their contract as well. So I don't see why that should be a big issue. A lot of these players are going to go in the summer. We know that. And that's my response to those crazy people on X.
Well, no, it's not necessarily crazy people on X. It's people with, they got the lots of the different opinions and what have you.
Let's call them the blinded THDL defenders, bro.
So you're no longer you're.
I was in the middle, but I'm out.
Hey, I tell you what. For me, to be fair, I'm kind of in the same boat as you because I'm watching that today. I'm just like, there's just no way you can't. I don't see the logic of how you can defend that. And even and I do get what KG said when he's saying like, well, if he would win the FA Cup, we'd be euphoric. But I'm just like, there's just no way we're gonna win. Like
exactly.
There's just no way. There is just no way. And I understand anything's possible until it happens and all that, but. Oh my God! We saw a team in sky blue shirts, and we just went. They must be City. They must.
You know what I mean? Exactly. They're in the Championship. People were telling me, "Oh, but we played good for 60 minutes." That's because they respected us. Imagine, Mark Robin said, "Go attack them," and look what happened.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. Oh, honestly, big up, Lil Yo. Appreciate you calling in as always. Long-time member, supporter, moderator. You know what to do. Reckless delegate as well. Al Caps has been a member for 10 months. Appreciate the support. Says this game was demonic viewings. That bold criminal and those fraudulent players all have to go. Coventry. Damn. Ashmead says, we have seen other teams do it. We are cruising at 3-0, then take off an 18 and 19-year-old and replaced by seniors. We totally submerge. Abhinav says, how is it the manager's fault when he has only limited subs he can make? He brings on 2 internationals in Eriksen and Anthony, Ten Hag in, players out. I just don't think it's binary anymore. I just don't think, and I never did as well. Like I said before, I don't understand that. I don't understand it's just this group's fault. It's just Erik ten Hag's fault. It's just the players' fault. I just don't get that. And also, you could argue, how is it manager's fault? But he decided to players that were not performing on the pitch to stick with them. Marcus Rashford, he stuck with him. He looked at Garnacho and went, "I'll take off Garnacho instead of Rashi." Like that. As a manager, you have to face the consequences of your changes and your actions as well. And ultimately, if you're the leader of that team, which he is, then you have to face the consequences. The players will face them too, but nobody gets a pass. I feel like that was an early precursor to this earlier on the season. El Cap says, I would take a pack of red Skittles for Rashford. And say what, bloody delicious. My favorite one is red Skittles, actually. That's my favorite one. So I think you'd be right too. How many likes are we currently at? We've got nearly 1,500 people watching. We're less than 200 likes. Let's get the likes up. We did get to the FA Cup final, by the way. So yes. Let's go to another call. Let's go to Amador. Amador, well, give me your thoughts. What do you think about what we saw today? We're in the final, but my goodness me.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed my name. I've adopted a new name today.
Yeah, you're KG's doctor. Yes.
Yeah. So
Amador MD.
Yeah. Can we talk about? I just want to talk about a couple of statements that KG make. I'm just trying to understand his mind a little bit. So he said,
we might be here for a while then.
No, please, if you don't mind, because I agreed everything that Show and Little Yo-Yo said, so I can't add anything more than that. So I don't want to waste your time. When KG says if he wins the FA Cup, he might stay. The cup competition is like how you perform on the day. But what about the last 32 games we played in the Premier League and the 9 or 10 games we played in the UEFA Champions League? Can we not judge Erik ten Hag on those performances as well to come to an overall informed view of, okay, Ten Hag as the manager, Ten Hag in terms of style of play, how have you performed? And the fact that Ineos are in now. If Ineos weren't in, like you said on the stream, I think there could have been more of an argument for him to stay until next season. But Ineos are in. They are making changes from the top, trickling down, and obviously going to come to the manager. So the fact that KE says this, I am bamboozled. And for those people who are of that view, they need to explain themselves clearly how they can just focus on one game against Man City. And by fluke, if it's a 1% chance we win it, that means Erik Ten Hag stays in the job. I can't see that, because what about those games where we should have won, where we should have won against Bournemouth at home or Fulham away or whatever, against the poor teams like Scholl says? That tells me that this manager, in theory, theoretically has his plan, and in his mind, it's theoretically it works because there's nobody else in his head apart his mind, because he can think about it, visualize it in his head. But in practice, he doesn't have these players. His stubbornness, and I keep the words stubbornness, will not allow him to flex his style of play, and he will go. So please, KG, if you're watching this, give me a call. I'm more than happy to speak to you privately. I won't charge you anything, but let's just have a man-to-man conversation about this. All right? That's why I reach out to KG. Other thing I wanted to say, I talked a lot. What do you think about that, Owen?
No, obviously, we saw during the match view. I agree. First of all, I don't think we win that game anyway, and that's not me being pessimistic, negative. That's just me seeing how we're playing at the moment. I mean, technically, it was a draw today. So I don't know. Our last win, I think, was against Liverpool in the FA Cup. In terms of we won on the scoreline. I don't think we've won a game since then, which is crazy. So to say that we were going to beat City, I just don't. It's just impossible, like absolutely impossible. And you know what it kind of reminds me of, your point there? It's a bit like the Di Matteo thing at Chelsea. When he won the Champions League, and it was like, well, we got to give him the job because he won the Champions League. But it was very apparent not too long into the next season where it's like, actually, that was just a cup run. That's not long term. That's not sustained patterns of play or quality. It's just that it's a cup run. A cup run's very different to longer term vision or progression.
And the thing you got to bear in mind, look at it from Enos's point of view. And I'm just going to throw this additional factor to consider. Financially, where do you think Ineos value more? The qualifying for the Champions League or winning the FA Cup? What do you think?
Well, it'd be qualifying for the Champions League, wouldn't it? Certainly.
So mathematically, when we don't qualify Champions League, do you not think that's another nail in the coffin for saying, look, he wasn't our guy in the first place. He hasn't delivered on the objectives, that the minimum baseline objectives that we wanted to, which was style of play, getting us Champions League. He hasn't done that. We are struggling against teams who are poorer than us. And I just want to say this. This is going to sound really controversial. I was watching the match. I was watching the stream with my son, and I was watching you guys talking, you and KG. I've got to, again, and I am the reason I'm KG's doctor as well. I need to speak to him about his recollection of songs. When he said Mrs. Davis for Nirvana, that just cracked me up. But I was enjoying the stream because, in my mind, Owen, I was getting bored of the match because like 3-0, we're going to coast. And he just said, okay, now we started enjoying you and KG talking, enjoying the banter, looking forward to the final. And from 70 minutes onwards, they managed to turn a game of enjoyment to despair and discomfort. So who is that to blame? It's not just me saying managers out. Okay, like I said, it's not just managers out. There's a couple of players that need to go. And I'm going to say it again. Marcus Rashford cannot play for this club anymore, in my opinion. He's checked out. He needs to join with Trent Alexander-Arnold from Real Madrid or PSG or I don't know, whoever are willing to pay 50 million, 60 million for Marcus Rashford, take it. Because for every one moment of success he brings, there'll be about 20 other games where he just throws in a 4 out of 10 performance. And on top of that, you've talked about before, but I just want to reiterate the point. Garnacho, when I saw him being subbed off, I totally understand his anger. He won't say it, like Scholl said, and other people say, he won't say it, but he's thinking, no, Rashford is playing so poorly. And he was playing it, ironically, he was playing against a team where I actually thought he was playing at their level a little bit. So the oppositions like that, if you were to play against those types of opposition more often, he would shine more, Rashford. But even then, he didn't shine as much as I thought he would do. He wasn't subbed off. Garnacho got subbed on. It was only until 3-3 Rashford was subbed off. So this again shows to me some players need to leave this summer. And Ten Hag, because of his stubbornness, he needs to go.
You think so? You're a bit like Lil Yo-Yo was saying. Were you on the fence previously, and now today's that kind of final nail fit for it for you?
A bit, because I wanted to give him a chance. I said in my mind, And people may think I'm being incoherent here. Where are you? But I don't like saying managers out because I'm not a reactionary fan. There are some YouTubers who like to get clickbait and say, "Oh, I'll say this just to get more clicks." I'm not one of those types of fan. I'm trying to be balanced. I want him to succeed. I want any Man United man to succeed. But ultimately, based on the sample size that I've seen this season and the fact that Ineos are coming, unfortunately, the future doesn't look bright for Ten Hag at all. And yeah.
Yeah, certainly. No, I agree with you. I agree. Big up, Aminor. Appreciate you as always. Am I in with the quote with super chats as well? I think I am. How many likes are we currently at the moment? We're still got close to 1,500 people watching, which is fantastic for the full-time view. Reminder, if you do wish to call in, if you're watching this, you're saying, I want to call in, you can do so. Just become a member. Links in the video description. It's also the pinned comment in the live chat. We're currently at 222 likes. Let's see if we can get it up to 500. Let's go to another call. Let's go to Sean. Sean, regular on the full-time view. I feel like every time we've spoken in recent weeks, it's been after a bad performance, a disappointing result. How do you feel after today? How do you put that into words in what you saw today?
I feel like literally regurgitating what we spoke about the last time because I'm just numb. My head's gone. I'm disgusted, absolutely disgusted at the players, the manager, the whole lot of them. It's just a spineless performance. I don't think we were even good enough to have the 3-0 in the first place. But to bottle it in the way we did, and it's not the first time, as the other callers have been saying, as I said before, Owen, I think we're in a purgatory. We just don't seem to get anything out. Whenever you think that, okay, well, this is an easy game, let's hope the players see them off, boom, they implode. And I feel bad for Coventry fans. They didn't deserve to go out in that manner. They really didn't. They outplayed us for a good part of that second half, and maybe some patches in the first half as well. Just disgusting.
And what do you think about the future of? I don't even want to just say just the manager, just the future of everyone. Where do you think the future of everyone, goes after what we saw today?
I think the thing with Ineos, I was watching the Trinity podcast the other day, obviously always fun. And you guys, I think you and Flex were talking about the fact that the reason we do have faith in Ineos is because they've acted well in the last couple of months. And they do seem like they know what they're doing. If they do know what they're doing, at least 10 players out of the United squad need to get out. If it were me, if this was FM, I'd just mutually terminate their contracts. They don't deserve to wear that shirt. And the manager, I think, as much as I want to give managers time, I think he's sacking himself. That's what I'd say. He's been sacking himself for a long time now. Keeping that MBE child feeder on, he sacked himself there. It's disgusting man management. I've tried to be sympathetic towards Ten Hag. I was one of the proponents who wanted to get him in, but it can't work that way. And there's this huge duality. I think you've alluded to this before, that if you say something against the manager, that means you want the players to stay. That's nonsense. I want most of the players to go as well. I want the clean reset, but we've been saying that for so long. I think all the United fans have basically lost hope in that sort of reset. They're just like, well, will there be a reset? I think for once in a decade, maybe there will. Maybe there is like 50% hope that there might. And if there might be a reset, we need to take stock of it. And this is not me being reactionary. This is me formulating everything that I've been thinking of over the last couple of months, and it's just not looking good, and I think Aminor made a great point. Even if we do fluke a win against City, and believe me, if we do win against City, it's going to be a fluke. There's no chance we can outplay City. Come on, impossible. If we do fluke that and Ten Hag gets the FA Cup, yes, it gives him some time, but in the grand scheme of things, you have to think that, well, is that time worth it? Is he gonna completely change his style of play? He's been saying this for months, that this is what he likes. And this guy is an intelligent manager. He knows what he's doing. He thinks that this style of play is going to get us points. Let me tell you something. I saw 4 instances in that second half where even against a championship type side, not even a promotion candidate, God forbid, a team that's 8th in the championship, we still had bare yards between our midfield and defense and between our midfield and forward lines. And even Onana was standing close to his goal. What was the point of bringing a super keeper who's going to stand that way and booting up the ball constantly? The players need a lot of the blame, probably 60%, probably 65%. But 35% of the blame putting on the manager. I don't think anyone should expect this manager to stay after this. I want to be proven wrong. I'd love to be proven wrong. but I can't see a way that this continues. So Jim Ratcliffe just ran a marathon today. And this, as he said in that post marathon interview, this was more stressful than running a bloody marathon for him.
Yeah.
I feel bad for him. He's 71 years old. He doesn't deserve this. I mean, it's peak, Owen. It's peak. Get the lot of them out. Rip them all out. Flex was right.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting. Certainly see what Flex says later on. Absolutely. Big up, Sean. Appreciate you as always calling in. Let's keep it moving. We've got so many people to get to. Let's go to Joe Blackman. Joe, I think chairman, president, whatever you want to call it, of the Ten Hag Defense League. Where do you stand today?
I am still standing firmly on my hill. I am THDL. Yeah. But look, I'm not stupid. Yeah. I watched the match. Yeah. And also, look, you might not know this, Owen, but I was also doing my own watch along today for the very first time. So
nice.
Oh my gosh, I'll tell you this right now. I've never had so much emotion in one day. Watch alongs. I see why people get so stressed. Anybody that watches my watch along will see look, it's a tale of two halves. Everybody's complaining, I don't like this style. What, bro, you saw our style of play today. In that first half, Owen, can I ask you just one question? Just like pragmatically, no anger, no stupidness, no jokes, yeah? Did you like what we did in the first half?
I thought we played pretty well. I will say that you kind of see what happens when Manchester United were under zero pressure. I mean, zero pressure. So
absolutely, we were facing a low block.
The circumstances for us to play well means no one comes near us.
Don't get me wrong, but even when we was under pressure sometimes, I mean, I think Coventry got into a box about 3 or 4 times in the first half, and we saw them off quite well. Do you know what I mean? When people were bearing down on our defense, people like Dalot were covering. We were doing quite well. We were doing all right in the first half. I would say that I liked the football that we played in the first half. And everybody, look, this is one thing I was going to say. I said this at the start of when I started streaming. I bet when this match finishes, people are going to say, "Oh, but it's only Coventry." Yeah.
Yes.
And lo and behold, by half time, everybody was saying, "Oh, it's only Coventry." Yeah. By the end of the second half, people weren't saying it's only Coventry anymore. They were saying you're lucky.
They definitely were. They were being like, "It's Coventry. It's Coventry. This is happening against Coventry."
Yeah, but this is the thing, though, man. Coventry are where they are, and you know what? First of all, let me big up Coventry first as well. Yeah, we need to give them some praise because obviously they did their job today. Yeah, they came and they were on point and they did their job. But we, as fans, we can't actually say that everything that manager did today was absolutely terrible. Yeah, I'm going to point out there were some flaws, definitely. Yeah, but I thought we were set up to win, and we were doing all right.
We were set up.
I said this in the first half as well.
But we still couldn't. We still didn't win in normal time or extra time. We were set up to win, and we didn't against a championship side.
Yeah, do you know what, bro? I'm not going to lie to you and say that I'm happy with the performance or nothing like that. Yeah, like I said, I've gone through it. Bro, my emotions have been crazy. Yeah, like I've swore a lot today. Yeah, I've swore a lot today. Yeah, and it's funny how, like, looking back on it now, I'm thinking pragmatically, we could have done a lot better than we did. But do you know what? We said it. No, bro, we said it before though. Do you know the funny thing is, Flex said it. Yeah, Flex said it. It's not going to be pretty. Did he not call it?
Yeah, but I mean,
he called it.
Yeah, but not to this. I mean,
You say not to this, but what's not to this? We said it's not going to be pretty. You thought it couldn't get any worse than it was going to get. I'm telling you, bro. Yeah. Okay, let me ask you one thing, Owen, because I know I'm taking up too much time. Yeah. Let me just ask you this, Owen. Yeah.
Go on.
The first half we done well, correct?
Yeah.
The second half we capitulated as usual. Yeah. Did anybody expect anything else before we went into the match? Before we went into the match, I was saying that I was nervous, and this is the exact reason why I was nervous. Yeah, I feel like the manager said so.
I don't think people expected that today. I mean, the capitulation, I get that, but I don't think people expected this today. I think when we said it's not be pretty, I think maybe it was like, oh yeah, it might be like 2-0 or 2-1 or something like that, or it might be a bit close. Like it wasn't. I don't think anyone expected of
close.
Coventry should have won. I don't think anyone thought that.
No, hell no. No, hell no, we didn't. But when Flex said it's going to be ugly and it doesn't matter how we win, but we must win, what do you think? Look, this is one thing I have to say though, yeah, guys, please. I'm happy as well that some of the fence hitters actually got off the fence, because I know your bums must be hurting. But what I'm trying to say to you is that at least you're standing on business now. Yeah, you know where you are. You don't want to be Ten Hag in or you're Ten Hag out. All I'm saying is, yeah, I've seen enough today to see that my manager has a good plan. People keep saying we don't have a style of play. We played well in the first half. I know we weren't being pressed, but we keep on talking about we can't break down a low block. We was breaking down a low block today, even though the players were still stiff and unmotivated. We was doing things that were right. Yeah, I'm telling you right now, the manager has a plan. Hopefully, he brings on next season. We can win the FA Cup, and hopefully, we'll be there next season, guys.
Big up Joe Blackburn. I mean, look, the thing is, yeah, with all of this, people will have their opinions, and they're allowed to have them. I think sometimes perceive like the debate as you trying to get someone to change their opinion. And I don't think I ever would want someone to change their opinion based off what I say. I'm not in the business of trying to convince you that you're right or wrong. I think it's about trying to get your points across. But we got to be really careful if we're like, we should have lost to a championship side. And our thing is like, but we played well in the first half. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's alarming. I think there might have been was another couple of super chats. I think there were. Another one here says, to be fair, no Man U team should lose the lead. Trust me, it's the players. Some of them outlasted multiple managers. Give Erik ten Hag a chance with proper structure. Amanor says, Owen, I'm looking forward to see to Flex's reactions. Yes, they should be coming up fairly soon, if not already, up on the channel. So be sure to check them out indeed when they do come up. Let's go to another call. Let's go to Chalaboy Comics. Chalaboy Comics.
How's it going, Owen? How you doing?
I'm exhausted. Mate. I'm exhausted mentally, physically, spiritually. At this point, I'm drained. How are you?
Exactly the same. I feel like I'm the one who ran the London Marathon. You know, it's. I think it's sick. It's a sick joke that's that someone's playing with United, and the peace that we're allowed to have as fans has just not been there this whole season. At 3-0 up, you think surely this is the one way we just have a boring FA Cup win and we move on. But lo and behold, whoever's pulling the strings up there, you know, wanted to put us through some crazy stuff, because that was unbelievable. And what was so frustrating about that game is that, you know, Joe Blackman was saying that we played well in the first half, and to be fair, we played all right. You know, I actually wasn't impressed with our performance in the first half, only because of how slow it was. You said it right. We were facing no pressure from them whatsoever, so we had time and space to build our attacks, and functionally, we did get our players into really good positions to score multiple goals. We were just let down by really bad decision-making from Højlund and Rashford, who I thought were pretty poor for most of the game. So it's a situation whereby I think if Mark Robins gets it back again, he probably regrets being so passive to start the game off. That being said, given the conditions that we were faced, we did a good job. It was professional. Harry Maguire, I want to shout him out. I think he was our standout player for today. He was playing the line breaking passes really well, linking with our midfield. So in all, the general performance was decent. The main issue, though, is that you know, before we get to the manager, there are just some basic things that happen on the pitch that you expect players of a certain level, you know, not to do. And majority of our goals came from, you know, individual errors. The situation when Anthony took that shot and the ball was in the air, I don't think it was Anthony's fault that goal went in. I put the blame or focus solely on Marcus Rashford, because that ball looped in the air and he did not even attempt to make a challenge or make a 50-50 ball, a 60-40 ball. He just watched it, saw the Coventry player control it, and just jogged in front of him with nothing. They then go on an attack and then they score. The first goal that we conceded, that was solely on Casemiro, you know, situation, because if you look at the replay, Dalot has done the right thing after he's pushed up in the line to press. The ball gets played out wide, and he's screaming to Casemiro, get the man in front, I got the guy behind. That literally he was communicating that point, and Casemiro just doesn't react. He just stays in that spot and mocks the guy behind. And Dallo, after we concede, is like, "What the hell, dude? Like, what are you doing?" So that's another individual error. And then I believe the last goal that we conceded with the penalty, that was Wan-Bissaka. He fell asleep on his back post, and that's been a weakness of his, throughout his whole career. So when you look at just those situations, you're like, okay, what more can a manager do to, these are player responsibility issues. So I it's just disappointing. Now the criticism I have for Ten Hag after this game is that he kept Rashford on the pitch, and I thought that was a joke, because he was clearly the worst player on the pitch, and Ten Hag didn't make a decision on that, so that's on him. Because I come to Ten Hag's defense quite a bit in general, but if you're going to you're under pressure and you know that you have to win this game and you don't make that sub, you have to hold accountability for that. So yeah, this was a Pyrrhic victory for sure. We won, but at what cost? It was
what do you think the cost is going to be moving forward, not only for the players, but for Ten Hag, for everyone? Do you think, the nails have been put in the coffin today regardless? Do you think he can be salvaged? He and some of the players could be salvaged if we beat City in the final? What do you think the cost is?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because it really depends how you decide to frame it. Because I think you could frame two different cases for Ten Hag getting sacked and for Ten Hag to stay. On the positive, he still has the highest win percentage of all managers after Sir Alex Ferguson, and that is fact. He has won us a cup, and he has taken us to three finals, in his 2 years, and finished third in Champions League spaces. That is an achievement from where we were before. That is undeniable. He's not a stupid guy. Like, he has the ability to win matches. Now, on the flip side, what is the case to sack Ten Hag? The guy has a 0 goal difference. He's conceded tons of shots, tons of chances, and our underlying stats when it comes to XG and all that BS, which sometimes, it's used in different contexts, but it's useful in different contexts, but those are actually just poor. And in reality, you could sack a manager for not achieving his objectives of qualifying for Champions League and all the like. Now, what do I think will happen? I'm nervous just on the basis of whenever you have structural change of this magnitude, private equity coming in, they're going to bring their people. So generally speaking, there's a huge chance that he's just going to go. What do I personally want is that I want to stay. I want him to stay only because I've seen this movie before. I've seen these players let their managers down time and time again. And I don't think a institution like Bayern Munich, would hire a guy like Ten Hag if he was a scrub. I don't think Pep Guardiola would, have good things to say about him if this guy was a scrub. Like, he's actually a talented manager. The issue is that I don't know why he's decided to hang his hat on Rashford, because Rashford, to me, is one of the direct reasons why we're failing time and time again in games. And part of me, I don't want to speculate because I don't have that information, but is there something in his contract, with his brand and his reach, which allows him to run the club? Because it's actually shocking. I don't know. So to answer your question, it's not looking good for Ten Hag. I think he definitely needs an FA Cup win, because the Champions League is out the picture now. But I want him to stay because I really like what he's doing with Kobe Mainoo. I like what he's doing with Garnacho. Because if we talk about bringing in new managers, what do we expect that new manager to do? Is it a reset where we have 3 years of a rebuild and we're not going to be competitive for the next 3 years? Is it a manager that we're bringing in to compete immediately? What's the manager going to do with Kobe Mainoo? Like, if we bring someone like De Zerbi in, let's just say we bring De Zerbi in and he's like, actually, I don't really fancy Mainoo. I like this other player.
He would though. I mean, he's he doesn't like Kobe Mainoo though, is he? Let's be and to be honest, that'd be part of the recruitment process for a new manager. Ineos would be like, "What do you think of Kobe Mainoo?" If they said, "I don't like him," they'd be like, "Well, we're not going to give you the job then."
Exactly. I think that's the point I wanted to make, is that we already have a manager who is looking to make Kobe Mainoo his central to his plans. I'm just nervous about derailing that development if we go a different direction. That's part of my concerns. And you're right. If we're going to bring in a new manager, Kobe Mainoo has to be central to the manager's plan. So it's a tough situation. I don't know how to analyze this, because when you look at the game objectively, there were a lot of player issues. Like you mentioned in the stream, when Hoyland took that shot, when we had multiple people making overlaps and were exposed on the counter. Like, these decisions are just schoolboy errors, and do you blame the manager for that, or do you just say, hey, players have to take more personal responsibility? And I don't know where that lies.
I think it's everything, isn't it? I think it's everything. Players have to take more responsibility, but so does the manager. The manager has to take responsibility for picking the players that can't take responsibility as well. And I think it is a results-based business, isn't it? And if you don't get the results, you're naturally going to be under pressure, unfortunately. Big up, Chatterboy Comics. Appreciate you as always. I think I'm quite when it comes to the super chats. Indeed, I am. How many likes are we currently at the moment? We're at 325 likes. So that's, by my maths, about 176 likes away from 500. So if you haven't already, click the like button and subscribe. See if we can make 500. Let's go to another call. Let's go to Lucas. Lucas, what are your thoughts on what you saw today?
Hello, and I'm relieved. We're through to the final. That's all I care about. I said we had 3 finals: Liverpool, the FA Cup, and the FA Cup final. And that was going to be our season. But yeah. No, Jason Wilcox has a lot to do.
Yes, obviously. A lot to do. What do you think his first thing he would do after what you watched today?
Honestly, tell Ten Hag bench Rashford. Just he needs to ride bench. And probably Aaron Wan-Bissaka. No, I'm surprised no one said it. He just had a torrid time today, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He almost all fought for 3 of the goals. The deflection, the penalty, and the offside. That was marginal, very marginal, like a hairpin. Oh my gosh. Like that was a tough one for him today. But I'm so happy for Harry Maguire too, though. He had a captain performance today, but just
what you saying, you should get the armband back? You saying Harry should get the armband back?
I never thought he should have had the armband. I always thought it should have been taken off him and just given to someone else, but no one deserves the armband at the moment.
No, certainly I would agree with you there. Where do you stand with all of this then? Obviously, do you think that today was a nail in the coffin for Ten Hag? Do you think it's a case of rip it all up, or it's Eric's not doing well, or certain players aren't doing well? Where do you stand on all of this?
I honestly don't understand why Ahmad's not starting more. That's a very big question. He's looking a lot more composed. He looks after the ball a lot better than Anthony and Rashford. But I felt people are a little bit too harsh on Rashford. I thought he was fine. He wasn't doing anything terrible, but he wasn't
good today, Lucas.
I don't think he was good. I'm not saying he was good, but he was definitely the worst player in the first half. But I thought him and Rasmus were just out of the game completely. Both of them.
Yeah, but why did he not take him off there?
That's the thing.
He's not doing well. Why doesn't he take him off?
That's the nail on the head where I'm thinking I don't know why he's dying on the hill with Rashford. He should have taken Rashford off instead of Garnacho, in my opinion. That's where it went wrong today. And Garnacho, he must be thinking, why me? Why always me?
Yeah, exactly. And also, KG says if he wins the FA Cup, he might keep his job. Do you think that that's possible? Do you think that is the case? What do you think about that?
Well, last time I was on about a month ago, I said, I think Ineos are going to make a decision on Ten Hag of going with their own person and not Ten Hag. But that all depends on Jason Wilcox and Omar Barada when they come in, because I honestly think that's when the decision will be made, because I honestly don't feel like there's no point of sacking him right now. He is sacking himself, but I don't think there's any time for him to readjust their position on him, in my opinion. I don't think anything's going to change from now to the end of the season. We still might win the FA Cup, but I still think they're going to go with their own person.
Do you think there's any chance? It can win the FA Cup? Any hope?
Of course, the magic of the cup. You saw Coventry, the magic of the cup.
Was that magic, or was that being us being rubbish though? I didn't feel much magic today.
No, honestly, like as a neutral, you would have loved that for Coventry. You've been like when Coventry like came back it was the same thing, injury time against Wolves. They came back and won that 2-1 against Wolves. So it was just like almost the exact same thing about to happen again. But luckily we just barely crossed the line. Barely. It's the Cars episode where Lightning McQueen just sticks out his tongue just to cross the line.
Yeah, it was rough. It was rough. Big up, Lucas. Appreciate you as always calling in. We got time for one more call. We're currently at 365 likes. If you haven't already, click the like button. One more call. Let's go to Avi. Avi, what are your thoughts on what you saw today?
Hi there, Owen. I don't know. I'm enjoying myself because last I checked, we're in a semi-final.
You enjoyed that today?
Listen, history remembers, sirens in the chat, history remembers results. And the result will show Man United are in the final.
Yeah, but what would the result be in the final day?
Now, that's a different question. But, I mean, I'm 35 years old. I've lived long enough to see Ruud van Nistelrooy not win a Premier League. You know, I've seen Ferguson have torrid times. And the fact of the matter is that all these Erik ten Hag outers, unless you come with a plan, a manager and a plan in place for the next 3-4 years, I don't understand what's the problem. He's delivered a cup, he delivered the third place finish, and he delivered 3 finals.
Well, the pushback to that from people would say that that's not their job to do that, is what they would say, right? They would say that their job as a fan is to give their opinion on what they're watching. It would be upon Ineos to come with that plan, would it not?
Of course, and I think the logical thing to do would be, unless, I mean, we're all football fans on this channel, and I think we watch football more than most. So if you do have a plan in place for De Zerbi, for whoever it may be, for, you know, Southgate, Potter, whoever that may be, I can't see a plan that sees us winning the Premier League within 3 years. I can with Erik ten Hag. The reason why, he's already delivered silverware, he's already delivered finals. That's why I believe that that's the logical step to do. Let him do his work. He's brought through Manu, he's brought through Garnacho. Let him continue working. I know the football's not pretty, it's not enjoyable. But what can we do? We have to live with what we got.
So so just to clarify that, you think Erik ten Hag can win a Premier League title in 3 years?
I think he can, yes, with the right backing.
I don't know, man.
It's gonna be tight, but you know, we've seen. I saw a team with Cleverley, Anderson, Evans, who actually now is turning out all right, all in the team that won the league. Dan Fletcher, you know, not the most talented squad, yet they still won the league.
But then, even with that, it's about a manager that can get the best out of players that maybe aren't high quality players. And we're all in agreement that some of these players are not high quality players, but we can't get the best out of them. Is that not a problem in itself?
That is a problem in itself, and I think that's the benefit of having someone who's worth 27 billion within the club now and is happy to put his hand in his pocket. I mean, that's clear to see. I mean, it's crazy to say, but I'm in the KG boat. I lay the blame solely at the feet of the players. I can see for moments in the game what Ten Hag is trying to do. He just doesn't have the personnel for it.
Interesting. So do you think then if we do win the FA Cup, he keeps his job?
So what I believe is that Erik ten Hag, the nail was in the coffin even before this game, because I think Ineos are that decisive that they're going to make their own decision. Now, if I was in, you know, Ineos' shoes, I would persevere. But personally, I think that decision's been made.
Right. And that was even prior to the game?
Prior to the game, yeah. I just don't think, with the run of results that we've had, I don't think they had the patience with Sir Jim Ratcliffe coming out and saying, you know, this needs to happen between this time. We can't wait 10 years. I think that sort of set, in my mind, that sort of said that, you know what, we're not going to wait. It's now or never.
Yeah, no, I too tend to agree with you. I think they made their mind up, and if they hadn't, I think today's probably pushed them in that direction. With the players, then, are there any players specifically that stand out to you that need to go faster than others?
I mean, I would cash in on Rashford as soon as possible. Obviously, signed a new agreement, so I would hope that he would go for a decent amount of money. apart from that, obviously, with the system that we play, we need fast, dynamic midfielders because Casemiro simply can't do it. McTominay simply can't do it, and Maino needs help. And then slightly controversial, I honestly think Bruno Fernandes gives the ball away too much. Yes, he creates chances, the highest amount of chances, but those chances aren't being converted. And so I'd rather have someone that's a little bit more precise, like Odegaard on the ball, won't always go for the killer through ball, and will look after the ball a little bit better than Fernandes.
I don't think that's controversial that Bruno gives the ball away. Like he was doing it again today, certainly, wasn't it? And finally, any chance of an FA Cup success? Is it the magic of the cup, like Lucas said, or
I've seen this team beat City, almost identical team beat City. So magic of the cup, but I'm not holding my breath.
No, me neither. If I held my breath, I think I'd pass out. Super chat from Milan here says, agree with Luke. Marcus was not as bad as some say, but not good either. One of the most poor in a poor team. We can't scapegoat him, but we can't ignore him. We need a tactical view on Erik ten Hag and the players. I think that Marcus Rashford will get a lot of criticism today because it's deserved. He was really, really poor. I think a lot of players will get criticism today because they were poor. I think Bruno Fernandes. Someone mentioned the point, and I think this is kind of also where I'm kind of at with, like, Bruno as the captain. We saw with Harry Maguire when he was captain. When a team's not performing, because you're the captain, you get extra scrutiny. You get extra sort of blame. And Bruno, that was the same with Bruno today. He kept giving the ball away. He was shocking. Rasmus Højlund, he'll get criticised there, and I think he deserves to get some criticism today. I understand service and what have you, but he didn't look good today. You would look at, again, Casemiro. He did all right at centre-back, but in the second half, or certainly in extra time, his legs completely gone. Couldn't even run. Yeah? So a lot of these players will get criticism. It'll be deserved. Erik ten Hag will get criticism. It's deserved. Like all of it, all of the criticism that goes towards everyone today will be deserved, because we cannot dress it up that we played a championship side. We made them look Premier League quality. A 3-0 lead. A 3-0 lead at Wembley. In the space of, it wasn't even as if we went 3-0 up after 20 minutes. We were 3-0 up after 70. There wasn't even that much time left. And it still happened. So it's mad. It is totally mad. But there you go. Appreciate everyone that's called in today on the full-time view. We're currently at 387 likes. We've still got over 1,100 people watching, which is fantastic. Let's see if we can get those likes to 500 on the way out. Once again, if you're watching this after the fact, and you're like, oh, I want to call in the future, you'll be able to do so if you become a member. And then once the next match happens, what is our next match? Who is our next match against? I forgot. It takes me like a week now to build up to these United games because it's too painful. It was against Sheffield United at home. What could go wrong, right? What could go wrong? I don't know. But yes, so if you do want to call in, you'll be able to do so. Just become a member. Links in the video description, or click the join button. Fan view should be on their way out if they're not out already. So you'll hear from the likes of KG, Flex outside Wembley, people that were at Wembley as well today too. And then tomorrow we'll be back in the morning, a 9 a.m. video as per usual. Full view tomorrow as well, 6 p.m. I'm sure there's going to be a lot to talk about. So we'll have the full panel there as well. Anyway, guys, have a great Sunday. I'll speak to you again very soon. I'm out of here. Peace.